It's time to be a wine connoisseur, and to do that, you have to know which glass to use with which wine. Rudyard Coltman will tell us here at Vinotopia. Rudyard, why the different glasses?
Okay, well, we're going to go over just some basics, and basics start with the shapes of the glasses. This is what's called a champagne flute. So if you're serving champagne, use the flute. The shapes have to do with the way that you view wine, the way that you smell it, the way you taste it. With a champagne glass, people like to see the bubbles traveling up, and the aromas are captured perfectly through a tulip-sized glass like this. This glass here is a basic white wine glass. Could be used with your Pinot Gris. Generally, it's fine with Chardonnay too. Sometimes people use a little bit larger bowl.
And the bowl does what to wine?
Well, it aerates the wine,
okay,
which is one of the most important elements to appreciating the great quality a wine might have to offer. The white wine glass will aerate white wine at the right speed and time, and also capture the aromas nicely coming up the shape. Now, this is what's called a Bordeaux glass, and that's generally used for red wines and the Bordeaux varietals. So that would be Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cab Franc, be acceptable and nice to use it for Syrah. This is called a Burgundy glass, and Burgundy is a region in France where Pinot Noir originates, and hence you would pour Pinot Noir into a Burgundy glass. Burgundies and Pinot Noirs have a lot of fragrant aromas that are best expressed in a big bowl that releases it.
Now the stem, the height of the stem and the stem itself has a lot to do with the taste and the temperature, right?
Absolutely. Temperature is critical. It's probably the most overlooked element when appreciating wine. White wines are served between 50 and 60 degrees. Red wines should be served between 60 and maybe 68 degrees. Room temperature being more old world, like European room temperature, not the room temperature at a 72-degree house. So in order to maintain, assuming that the wine is poured into the glass at the proper temperature, in order to maintain that temperature best, you don't want your hand coming in contact with the glass, which would warm the wine. So you have separation,
gotcha,
and you're not warming the wine up. Now, if a wine is served too cold, which happens often in restaurants, you can simply just cup the glass
just like that,
and then warm it up as well.
Now, I drink most of my wine out of the bottle, but you say that crystal is actually best for wine.
That's correct, for a number of reasons. They've actually done studies where wine is poured into crystal and it's into non-crystal stemware, and even the best expert can sometimes be confused and not even realize that it's the same wine in the two glasses. Crystal has a great way of showing off the beauty and color of wine. So being able to hold wine up to the light and look at all the beautiful colors that the wine might exhibit. It might also tell you a little bit about the wine you're about to drink. A dark colored wine is generally going to be a fuller bodied, thicker wine on your palate. Maybe a Pinot Noir that has some transparency to it is probably going to be a little lighter on the palate. So there's things you can determine by color.
All right, let's end with 5 S's.
Sure. Quick. Yeah. No, this is the 5 S's of wine tasting. That would be the seeing of the wine, holding it up, looking at the color. The swirling, which is another benefit of the stem. Simply, the easiest way, when you get good at it, you can hold the wine in your hand and swirl the wine around, aerating, bringing air back into it, releasing flavors and aromas. But you can also just put it on the countertop or your tabletop and swirl it like this. That's the swirl. The next S is the smell. You can smell a lot more than you can taste, and you often miss some of the great points in a wine by not smelling it. So don't be bashful. Put your nose right into the glass. Take a big smell and maybe form some nice impressions about what you're about to taste and what the wine has to offer. The next would be sip, most people's favorite, which would be, basically pursing your lip a little bit and sucking in some air while you're sipping. Allows the wine to aerate. And then there's the savor. That's the last S.
Okay.
And that's where you basically are, again, evaluating the finish. Does the flavor go on for a long period of time? Was it satisfying to you? Was there complexity? Probably the most important point in wine.
Rudyard, thank you very much. Vinotopia is the place, and you can get your own lessons right here.